Alright folks, this is a big one because Anthropic is saying that new Claude models launched from the 2nd of August will embed machine-readable watermarks into generated text, including content from Claude, the API, and Claude Code, and that the mark may survive copy-paste and lighting, but this is not proof that Claude wrote everything. It may only show that Claude edited, translated, summarized, or processed the content. So think of it as a provenance receipt and not an authorship verdict. So it is slightly scary, but it is not the end of the world. So we're going to explain everything that's happening right now. What are our thoughts on the matter, because we are aggressive Claude users? Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? So stick around. All right, let's talk about if this is affecting you, me, and every Claude users in the world. So the rollout is connected to the EU AI Act's transparency requirements. And at first I thought, okay, maybe this is affecting only the EU Claude users, but no. Anthropic is saying that the marking will apply worldwide for supported models worldwide. All right, so we are going to have the invisible watermarks for the new Claude models starting August the 2nd. Now, the important nuance is that this is primarily a model rollout and not a switch that users can turn on or off. So if the model supports marking, then the products using that model inherit the behavior. Now, Anthropic is also describing that the text mark as being woven directly into the generated text. So it's metadata, and it's not a metadata that you can simply delete. So in practical terms, it should travel when you copy and paste the response into a document, an email, a CMS, or even your code base. So this is a big deal for Claude Code users, right? Even code. And that is the key point. Copying code from Claude Code into VS Code or GitHub does not automatically remove a model level text mark, but Anthropic has not published the exact technical implementation, so we should not confidently claim that it uses a specific Unicode character or a specific algorithm. So until they disclose that, I think it's okay for having Claude to build the handoff.md. But I'm thinking maybe even the metadata is in the handoff.md, but just, first thought, that would be the workaround if you really want to avoid that invisible signature, is have Claude build the handoff.md and then hand that off to another agent, let's say Kimi K3 or GPT, to build out the specs from the handoff.md. Now, what I'm also foreseeing is that since Anthropic is going to be, I think there's a second one to do this, right? Because Google was the one that first did this. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think following pretty soon, we'll see other AI providers, let's say maybe GPT, anything in America for sure, and EU are going to have this sort of watermark feature for their models. Now, for the Chinese, I don't know about that. I think they're much more lenient, maybe, because, I'm not going to say it, but, that's the culture, right? So for now, I think maybe Kimi K3 and Minimax and all the other Chinese open weight models are going to be okay. But strictly speaking, let's say all the closed models are definitely going to have those watermark effects. Which brings us to the question, what provenance signals does this model add to my output? I think there's also a lot of strategies involved in selecting a particular model because they've added this invisible watermark feature, right? Because Anthropic is now joining Google in pursuing production text watermarking, but the system is not universal because many open weight models do not use provider controlled watermarks. And for users, right, you're going to have to ask yourself, what signals does this model add to my output? Now, diving into the specifics of how the watermark works, it's believed to work statistically, not through hidden characters. So the model subtly favors certain word choices, creating a detectable pattern across a longer passage. So obviously these watermarks are going to come across text heavy type of work. We already have, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. That plagiarism checker that we use in uni, the Turnitin, right? Like that software has already been around for a long time, so it's definitely very easy to detect AI generated softwares. I haven't been in school for a long time, but I know that they have these softwares already for the past, how many years is it? Since GPT 3 came out, right? But the takeaway here is that no individual word exposes you, and short outputs may not contain enough signal, but rewriting, translating, or heavily editing the text can weaken the detection. So if you are using Claude for a short email, a code snippet, or a quick terminal command, the detection may be unreliable. So it looks like we'll have to do a lot more work if you really want to avoid that watermark. Now, why is Anthropic doing this now? So the main driver is the EU AI Act, which requires AI-generated content to be machine detectable. Now, text was the obvious gap because images can already carry signed provenance metadata through standards such as C2PA. Now, there is also a defensive reason, I think. Anthropic wants a way to verify whether disputed content may have passed through Claude, whether that is electron material, fake legal documents, or AI-generated spam. So provenance is becoming infrastructure right now, not just a policy idea. Every politicians are talking about this. Oh, what are we going to do with AI? Now, what it does not prove are authorship, intent, or misconduct. It could appear because Claude edited a human draft, summarized the document, translated text, or refactored code. And this is where Claude users should be careful. A student using Claude for grammar, for example, or a freelancer polishing a client draft, or a developer asking Claude to clean up code could also produce those marked output. And the detector hit should start a conversation, not automatically trigger punishment. So it's not in a way that's saying, oh, Claude 100% made this. But you'll have that label. It's like on GitHub, you see Claude contributed to this code. So it's like that, but it's now woven into the works that we do. So watermarking Claude does not watermark AI-generated text as a whole. So paraphrasing, translation, or another model can weaken the signal. Oof, multi-agent system. That's going to be also another play into this. While local open weight models may never add one in the first place, right? So this makes this useful for a narrow question. Did this possibly pass through Claude? It does not really answer the much broader question, was this written by AI? The watermark is a provenance tool at the end of the day, and not a universal AI detector. And in any case, right, it also depends on the perspective of who you're working with or who you're working for. If they're really for aggressive use or encouragement of using AI, then they're not going to care if the watermark is there. They're like, okay, I'm very proud you're using Claude. Keep burning those tokens. Be like Jensen Huang, right? Burn those tokens and do more work. But for the anti-AI people, then if they see, oh, this work has watermark, then they're going to be like, okay, you're fired. Or like, we're not going to hire you. Stuff like that. So realistically, working in this industry, I think a lot of the companies are not going to care if there's a watermark. They're going to look at your work at first and then see, oh, there's a watermark there. You use Claude to edit it. I mean, come on, everyone knows you're using Claude to make code, right? But then, of course, the next question after that would be like, okay, how they're going to ask you stuff about your repo, your code bases, your system design. And if you can answer those questions, right, then it doesn't matter if the watermark is there. Claude is just a tool for helping you achieve your vision because you know what your system design is going to look like, what it would look like in the first place. And yeah, you just don't need to care about syntax. Let Claude handle all of that. So now let's talk about the call to actions here. What should users do? So if you are worried about this watermark, then you should document your AI workflow and never treat a watermark as a verdict. At least that's how we stand by. Decide what you disclose when Claude helps with drafting, editing, research, translation, or coding. Transparency definitely helps. At least admit that, okay, yeah, I did use Claude to use this. For agent builders, right, log the model, version, prompts, tool calls, human approvals, and major transformations when provenance matters. Watermarked output may affect white label content, client work, or model selection, but the real danger is not the mark itself. It is the sloppy conclusion that, Claude touched this means Claude wrote all of it. So really, I think, just look at the industry that you're working in. I think here in AI, this watermark's not a big deal. It's just it lets you know that, Claude touched this. Now, can you answer the more important questions? How did you use Claude to do this, right? Coming back to system design again. So that's around it. That's our take on the matter. Let us know, what do you think about this news? This is certainly a very big one. I think when I first read it, I'm like, mixed opinions, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So let me know what industry you work in. Are they anti-AI or AI, and how this could affect you? So if you find this video helpful, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, follow for more news, guides, and updates. My name is Ron. Shana now.